Tonight on CTV News at 6, Edmonton's newest top cop has been named. For the first time in decades, an internal candidate has been hired for the position of police chief.
I am excited for the path ahead and mindful of the expectations that come hand in hand with this role.
Plus, back at the bargaining table as the province presents a new deal to the Alberta Teachers Association.
Right now, I think will be the big question is not whether we get a tentative agreement, it's whether the teachers actually decide that they're going to go with it.
And taking shape. Edmonton's new bike park in the River Valley is coming along thanks to the dozens of volunteers building it.
This is pretty unique, and it's exciting for us too because the community is so interested in having this park that they're coming out and helping us.
Heating up tomorrow with afternoon temperatures close to another record.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Issa.
Good evening. The Edmonton Police Commission and City Council have chosen a familiar face as the new chief of EPS. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on his past and his priorities for the police service.
The Edmonton Police Commission is pleased to announce that we've hired Warren Dreichel as the 24th Chief of the Edmonton Police Service.
After several months of searching, the Edmonton Police Commission has named the city's new top cop. Warren Dreichel is the new chief of police.
It's an incredible and daunting privilege to serve as the chief of the Edmonton Police Service. I am excited for the path ahead and mindful of the expectations that come hand in hand with this role.
The Edmonton Police Commission has been looking for a new chief since February when Dale McPhee stepped down. At that time, Dreichel was made one of two interim chiefs alongside Devin LaForce. The commission says it looked at candidates from all over before making the decision.
We sat there and did the interview. I just kept on hearing everything that he was articulating, lining up with what what the community had asked for in their next chief.
Dreichel's 3 decades as an Edmonton police officer do not come without controversy. Earlier this month, he oversaw EPS sending a letter to Crown prosecutors saying it would release details of a case to the public if the court went ahead with a plea deal, giving the accused a manslaughter charge. Dreichel was also involved in an EPS steroid scandal where he bought steroids from another officer.
I know it will follow me, and I know it's always going to be there, right? And I'm just hoping that eventually I can move past it and it just doesn't define me, who I am.
Dreichel says his priorities are accountability for leaders in the organization, creating a new crime management plan, and changing the system so officers can be more proactive. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The steroid scandal happened between 2007 and 2012. One of the officers who sold the drugs was issued a $7,000 fine and a 1-year probation. It's unclear what consequences Dreichel faced. Mayoral candidate Tim Cartmell says his Better Edmonton party will go dormant after the election. Cartmell says Better Edmonton branding and party infrastructure will be shelved after October 20th. He says he wants to see what adjustments the provincial government might make to the party system. Cartmell says the party has been helpful or has been a helpful way to fundraise and gives more clarity to voters. His team will take their jerseys off once a new council is elected.
It will have no effect at all on the council table. We're not within votes. There is no cabinet. There is no caucus. Those things are still against the Municipal Government Act, and we will absolutely respect that. So this is really just an election thing, not a council thing.
The introduction of municipal parties is a pilot project by the provincial government this election in Edmonton and Calgary. Our city has 2 parties, the Better Edmonton and the Principled Accountable Coalition for Edmonton, also known as PACE. The mayor and city councillors offered some reflections on this final day of this term.
And to Edmontonians, serving as your mayor has been a great honor. Today I leave this chamber filled with gratitude for your trust and your inspiration for each other.
It was an emotional goodbye for City Council, who ended today's meeting with a standing ovation for one another and city staff. Mayor Amarjeet Sohi and Councillor Sarah Hamilton are not running again in this fall's election. Edmonton's Strathcona NDP MP Heather McPherson is now listed as a registered federal NDP leadership candidate with Elections Canada. Speaking on Alberta Primetime today, McPherson stopped short of officially confirming her candidacy. She did say the leadership race is a chance to rebuild the party.
We are the party for those folks that can't afford to buy their groceries right now, that are watching the wealthy get wealthier and wealthier while they can't get a job, while their kids can't get a job, while housing becomes completely unaffordable. Those are the things I think that we need to reconnect with Canadians on.
McPherson says the Carney government leans very conservative with little support for workers in uncertain economic times. She says under new leadership, the NDP needs to reconnect with Canadians who may have voted differently in the last election. As for her candidacy, she says she will have more to say next week. The federal NDP will pick its new leader in March. The provincial government has presented a new deal to the Alberta Teachers Association as the clock ticks down on an Alberta-wide teacher strike. CTV's Tim Brooke has the latest.
As classes carried on as usual Friday, important negotiations happened in a private boardroom.
Often you see this kind of flurry of activity in the lead up to a labor dispute as the parties start to recognize, oh, this is real. This might happen.
The Alberta government and the teachers union are back at the bargaining table. The province has presented a new deal focused on 3 outstanding bargaining issues: the timing of the implementation of the pay grid, an annual allowance for the longest serving teachers, and COVID-19 vaccination coverage for educators. That list doesn't include wages or class sizes, though neither side will tell us if they've agreed on those issues.
Probably the parties, it's in their best interest to stop talking to us and start talking to each other.
Labor experts say signs are there that a deal can be ratified before the October 6th deadline.
Something has happened in the last 24 hours that has brought both the government and the leadership of the ATA to a place where they think that they are close to a deal.
Classrooms are beyond overcrowded. Student needs are not being met.
The union, which represents 51,000 teachers, has used billboards, lawn signs, and commercials to share its message. The government will soon begin advertisements of its own. But back at school, public opinion seems to skew mostly towards the teachers.
I definitely support the teachers, and they are, deserving of probably everything they're asking and more.
They do need more resources. Specifically, the class sizes are too big. They should get paid more. There's just not enough resources for the teachers, and they're overworked.
I am worried, yeah, but I'm happy that teachers are taking action because it is about time that they get what they want.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The Premier is preparing to invoke the Notwithstanding clause to shield laws affecting transgender youth from charter challenges. A leaked memo obtained by the Canadian press was sent last week by the Justice Department. As directed by the Premier, it asks other departments to assemble information to invoke the clause. It will apply to laws about name changes and pronouns in schools, banning transgender girls from participating in amateur female sports, and limiting gender-affirming healthcare.
It's now being used to silence and control their own citizens, and that's a slippery slope. And I think Albertans and everybody across the country should be having conversations about the Notwithstanding clause.
A spokesperson for Alberta's Justice Ministry says the government is prepared to use all legal and constitutional tools to protect children. Enoch Cree Nation is celebrating the halfway mark of construction on a recovery community. The Maskeg-Sick Recovery Community is being built in partnership with the Government of Alberta. The province says it will have the capacity to provide live-in addiction treatment for about 300 people each year. Clients can stay in the community for up to a year as they address their substance abuse and receive supports for long-term recovery.
Good enough is not good enough anymore. We got to do better. When we look at the statistics of our young people dying, the numbers going up. Our elders are dying 20 years younger than non-Indigenous elders. We have to do something, and this is an Indigenous health crisis.
The recovery community is expected to start accepting new clients next year. Treatment is free. The province is working on 10 other recovery communities across Alberta. Police searched an Edmonton home in relation to the disappearance of 14-year-old Samuel Bird. Edmonton police confirm a search warrant was executed on Thursday. EPS is tight-lipped on any other details. Bird was last seen walking in the West End neighborhood of Kenora on June 1st. His disappearance is considered suspicious. The teen's family and volunteers have been conducting searches along the North Saskatchewan River and areas in West and South Edmonton he is known to frequent. The entire Valley Line Southeast LRT will be closed on Sunday for some routine work. The city says TransEd, the company behind the Valley Line, will complete essential inspections, maintenance work, and station cleaning. Replacement buses will provide rides between Millwoods and downtown during the LRT's closure every 10 to 15 minutes. Now, that schedule can be found on the city's transit website. The LRT's normal schedule will resume on Monday. Edmonton's new bike park is starting to take shape in the River Valley. It's southeast of the Walterdale Bridge. It includes paths through the trees that lead to a jump park, a pump track, and other skill-building features. CTV's Nicole Weisberg gives us a look at the progress and the volunteer effort that's been an integral part.
Tucked away in the trees of Edmonton's River Valley, contractors and volunteers are hard at work.
So right now I'm working on building a berm around the green trail.
They're reshaping and expanding existing trails and adding new features such as a wooden helix to make a range of paths for riders of all skill levels.
People are going to be blown away. This is a nice park.
The area we're standing in now, I would say, is probably getting to be 80 to 90% complete. This is kind of the jump park area, which is one of the four main areas of our of the bike park.
It's an exciting time for the Edmonton Mountain Bike Alliance. The volunteer group has been working to get this project going for more than a decade, after the city identified the need for a park like this back in 2013.
That never saw funding through any of the capital budgets, and this was an overdue facility that we thought that we could get behind, and we asked the city, how do we start pushing on this? And they introduced us through the community-led process.
Matt Edwards says that process required volunteers and donations to cover 10% of the cost. With that guaranteed, the province agreed to pay half the $1.2 million bill and the city a third.
One of the biggest things we heard was that mountain bikers wanted to come help build this project, so we've tried to facilitate that.
He says about 120 volunteers have come out to help so far, putting in more than 1,800 work hours.
This is pretty unique, and it's exciting for us too, because the community is so interested in having this park that they're coming out and helping us and getting involved.
Benjamin Dennis says he's been here every day for about a month.
From just piles of dirt to big jumps, or being able to kind of build the trail through the trees and see it happen is amazing.
A passion project that's on track to open early next summer. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
This is often a dangerous time of year to be driving in our city. Now, when the commute happens around sunrise or sunset, drivers can experience an intense, blinding glare from the sun. It happens around the equinox when the sun rises directly in the east and sets directly in the west. And because Edmonton's roads are laid out in an east-west, north-south grid, it puts drivers right in the path of the low-angle sun. The worst time for glare is 10 to 15 minutes after sunrise and before sunset.
This happens every spring and autumn as we approach our equinoxes, and it lasts for a little while as the sun hangs around that position, but it doesn't last forever, and in the coming weeks we'll see the sun rather moving more southwards, and so we'll be getting shortening amounts of daylight as well, so you'll get some later sunrises and some earlier sunsets, so you might be able to avoid sunrise and sunset on your commute.
To help combat the glare, drivers can use sun visors, sunglasses, and keep their windshields clean inside and out, and keep a safe distance from other vehicles. Oh, yes, Josh, that sun just glaring right in. But
you've been struggling with it, have you?
You know, for the most part, it's been okay, but there's been a few times where I'm like, thankful that you can put that down the visor and you're okay, but it's not looking good. But you know what is looking good? Oh, this weekend weather. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be into the upper 20s tomorrow for a daytime high, and then still low 20s, it looks like, on Sunday, which is a big drop from Saturday to Sunday. But still above average, even through the first half of next week. Take a look outside right now. We're at 22 degrees with light wind. We've had a bit of cloud cover slide through the last hour or two. That dropped temperatures from 24 degrees to now 22. 24 will end up as the daytime high, though. 5 degrees off a record today. We'll be a little closer to the record tomorrow. We'll be within a degree, I think. 17 is the average daytime high. Here's what it looks like outside right now as that cloud cover continues to move off to the east. So we'll get some clearing here through this evening and overnight tonight. And then more sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow with clouds returning on Sunday. There's the back edge of that cloud cover now sneaking out the east end of the city. Some showers approaching the Fort McMurray area, although they're kind of breaking down, it looks like. So maybe just a couple little sprinkles in through that region. All of that cloud, that little arch of cloud cover, is out ahead of some warm air that's going to punch in from the west. And so we'll wake up to temperatures around 10 degrees tomorrow morning and get to around 28 tomorrow afternoon. The record high is 29.4 from 1922. So close to a record tomorrow, but by the end of next week, closer to average. We'll talk more about all that in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Well, coming up, a big draw this weekend for fans of comics, anime, and pop culture. The Edmonton Expo is happening this weekend, including a guest appearance from one of the stars from Terminator 2. Plus,
it's the opposite of hate graffiti, and so it beautifies the community.
Edmonton's newest mural is making some people's walks a brighter part of their day.
Coming up Monday on Your Morning Edmonton, protein shakes, protein coffee, even protein cheesecake. Is it worth the hype? We've got the science of it all. We'll see you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The ultimate fan experience for movie, TV, comic, and video game lovers is back. The 2025 Edmonton Expo kicked off tonight, giving fans a chance to interact with their favorite actors and artists. CTV's Brendan Purdy is down at the Expo Center this evening. And Brendan, you have a special guest for us.
Well, that's certainly right, Nariman, and you're right. We are here at the kickoff of the 2025 Edmonton Expo. We do have a special guest tonight. This actor doesn't need an introduction, but we'll give him one anyways. He's known for roles in The Terminator, 1923 Sons of Anarchy, one of my personal favorites, as Colonel Tom Ryan in the unit. Robert Patrick. Robert, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Brandon Purdy, it's a pleasure to be here with you, buddy.
Hey, thank you so much, Robert. Now, just coming out to these Expo events, what does it mean to you to have this ability to interact with so many fans one-on-one?
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's a chance to greet your fans one-on-one, listen to them, tell you about when they saw your show, and it's, it's person to person. It's a really wonderful way to engage with your fans. I love it. I'm in the retail business. I also own a Harley-Davidson dealership in Santa Clarita, California, so I understand what it's like to go out there and be with people on the floor, and it's just a genuine way to show my appreciation for their support over the years and talk to them and have a good time with them. So it's really wonderful to be here, and these are fantastic opportunities.
Over your career and coming to these events, what are some of the memorable moments that stick out in your mind?
Oh, there's so many, because you get so many wonderful people dressed up, sometimes like the T-1000 or some other character, but it's fun to engage with them when they're so into the character, you know. Also, a lot of the younger kids that I meet that have questions and have, questions about what they're doing and with their life and how'd you get into acting and that kind of thing. And I like to, go through the steps with them on how you pick a goal, find what you want to do in your life and go after it. So I try to always turn it into something positive for them,
We're almost at time, Robert, but what is next for you? What are you working on right now?
Well, Tulsa King is coming out this Saturday on Paramount Plus. That's with Sylvester Stallone. I am the villain for this year, season 3. And then Peacemaker's out right now. I think it's on Crave here in Canada. That's with John Cena, and I play John Cena's father, which is no easy task, I'll tell you.
Excellent. Well, Robert, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really really appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you. Narraman, that's all from us at Edmonton Expo tonight.
A lot to take in. Exciting time. I know how fun that could be. So thank you. Brendan reporting live for us. An area in central Edmonton once tagged with hate-related graffiti has been turned into a work of art. Paid for by the city, a new mural has been painted at the Norwood Child and Family Resource Center. Artist Lorraine Schulba was inspired by people coming together with nature and animals to share the joy of life. The Resource Center hopes to reduce vandalism by encouraging respect of public spaces.
It's the opposite of hate graffiti, and so it beautifies the community, which the idea is that then other people coming to tag this area will look at this area as non-taggable because it's already got this beautiful mural here.
And you can find the mural on the path next to the center, which is just off of 95th Street on 114th Avenue. Well, still ahead, one of Edmonton's longest running bars is expanding.
Kind of something we've always wanted to get back into is sort of like the food side of things, and just to be able to offer people a whole night at Cook County, essentially.
The bar and restaurant and the restaurant next door are coming together, creating a new experience.
We've had a little bit of cloud cover slide through this afternoon, but back to sunshine for tomorrow. And for the second straight Saturday, we'll take a run at a record high. Your forecast is next.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
We're going to talk about high and low pressure systems today. What does the H stand for? High or low pressure? High pressure. What does the L stand for? That's right. It'd be very confusing if the H stood for low and the L stood for high, wouldn't it? H stands for high pressure. And when there's a lot of pressure, when there's a high amount of pressure on the air, is the air going up or down? Down. That's right. The air's going down. And with a low pressure system, is the air going up or down? Up. That's right. Now, which way does air need to go to turn into clouds? Up. So which one of these do you think is going to give you clouds? A high pressure system or a low pressure system? The low pressure system. That's right. Now, when you came to school this morning, the skies were bright blue, lots of sunshine. Do you think we have high pressure or low pressure outside today? Excellent work. These are the grade 5s from... Smart group of kids to start off weather watchers for this year. They are forecasters of the future, and you are CTV Weather Watchers.
Programming brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
A country bar off White Avenue, considered an Edmonton institution, is expanding. Starting this weekend, people visiting Cook County will notice a few changes. CTV's Merrick Takash reports.
So this is the new Cook County Lounge.
Cook County Saloon has been a staple for country music fans in and around Edmonton for decades.
It's the only one with a crowd anywhere near our age, to be completely honest.
And they got a nice big dance floor and that kind of thing. Yeah. And we like to come and dance.
2 years ago, the owners of the bar purchased Vaughn's Steakhouse right next door. For the first time this weekend, they're opening both spaces as one.
It was kind of something we've always wanted to get back into, was sort of like the food side of things, and just to be able to offer people a whole night at Cook County, essentially.
Barry Sparrow started Cook County back in 1981. Now he runs it with his daughter Lindsay and son Casey.
We've always wanted this building to be part of Cook County, this side, and now that we have it, it's full circle. It balances the room out. It gives us capacity that we need.
I worked in Vaughn's when I was 14, bussing tables, and to see the wall come down was like incredible. And I can't wait to see the people's reaction.
At a time when other local businesses have struggled to stay open, Sparrow says Cook County has been able to keep its doors open because of the roots they've built in the community.
All of our employees are say, veterans in the industry, and we just provide a safe place for people to come and have fun and let loose for a little bit. And and that's our biggest priority.
The expansion means room for up to 400 more people, increasing the building's capacity to 1,500. The Sparrow family can't wait to share more late nights with their patrons, starting in just a few hours.
I'm very proud of our team, proud of my family, and our team is our family as well, right? So, even our customers are our family.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Guess what I'm doing this weekend? The same
Enjoying
thing
the sunshine?
Every weekend I'm going golfing.
Yeah, good.
I think I have a problem, but you know what? When the weather is this nice, are you going golfing too?
Soak it up. Yeah, I'll be out tomorrow afternoon on what could be another record-setting day. Take a look at the temperature calendar, and you can see last Saturday, 29 degrees. That was a record daytime high. We'll have to be a little bit warmer than that tomorrow to get a record. 29.4 is the record daytime high. But so far, including today, which was a 24, so that'll be another red one, every day except the 4th of this month has been above average. And that trend, despite the cool down early next week, that trend will continue until maybe Thursday or Friday of next week. It's 22 right now as you look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right, it's free. You get some clearing out there after a bit of cloud cover earlier this afternoon. 23 in Fort McMurray for a high today. Same in Lloydminster. It was 22 in Red Deer and Grand Prairie. We get to 24 out ahead of that bank of cloud. As we said, behind this, there's a punch of warm air that's going to draw its way in from the west. No showers for the Edmonton region, but there were a few just off to the west of Fort McMurray. They're kind of breaking down, but you might see a little sprinkle in the Fort McMurray area in the next hour or two. After that, skies will clear out. And look at tomorrow. Mainly sunny skies right across most of the province. The exception is going to be in the northwest, where you will see some increasing cloud tomorrow afternoon and mostly cloudy skies on Sunday. Although, I think if you're in the Peace Country, Grand Prairie, Peace River, back off to the west-northwest, I think the showers, as they develop through Sunday, will develop off to the east-southeast of you. So it should stay dry right through the weekend in through that area. There's your showers off to the west and north of Edmonton through the afternoon hours. And if we're going to see anything, it's likely late afternoon or into the evening on Sunday. So dry for Saturday and most of the day Sunday. Sunday night could see a little sprinkle. Watch the ridge. It starts to build. It's not all that strong, but there's a little bit of warm air in the mid and upper levels for tomorrow. Then this cooler air sweeps across, and that's what gives us the chance for clouds and showers as that ripples through. But watch next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, there again is this bulge of warm air pushing in from the south. And so there's some uncertainty with just how far north that heat will push. But I've got 22 and 23 in the forecast for Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a chance it could be 2 or 3 degrees even warmer than that. We'll see how that plays out. 21 in Fort McMurray. Right now it's 22 in Grand Prairie and Red Deer, and we're at 22 after hitting 24 earlier today. We'll see temperatures in the mid to upper teens right through the mid-evening hours. Light wind overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. Sunshine, high of about 28, maybe 29. Record, as we said, is 29.4. 22 on Sunday. If the clouds hold off until later in the day, that could actually even be a 23 or a 24 on Sunday. So it's still mild Sunday, just not as hot as tomorrow. Autumn officially starts on Monday. Still going to feel like summer, though. 20 on Monday, low to maybe even mid-20s Tuesday, Wednesday, and then temperatures get back a little closer to average for the end of next week.
A great looking forecast. Thank you, Josh. Well, coming up on CTV News at 6, strategic partnership.
It really is about making sure that we're singing from the same songbook.
How Canada and Mexico plan to cooperate as the United States ramps up requests for trade changes. Also ahead.
If ABC thinks that this is going to satisfy the regime, they are woefully naive.
How late-night hosts are defending Jimmy Kimmel. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The Liberal government has tabled its first legislation of the fall session of Parliament, aimed at protecting communities against hate crimes by expanding federal hate laws. Crimes against religious groups in particular have been on the rise. CTV's Abigail Bimman has more on what's in the new bill.
The flames went up the door.
Cantor Henry Topaz's Montreal synagogue has been firebombed twice since the Hamas terror attack of October 7th, 2023. He says the government's new hate crime bill is a step in the right direction.
The idea of vulnerable infrastructure, notably houses of worship, are now more protected than they ever have been before.
Tabling of documents.
Bill C-2 has 4 new hate-related criminal offenses, including making it a crime to promote hate against an identifiable group through symbols, including a swastika and those from designated terror groups, making hate-motivated crime a specific offense, and making it a crime to obstruct or intimidate people trying to access places of worship and other places like schools used by an identifiable group.
The prevalence of hate crimes in this country that steal those freedoms are something that should shock the conscience of every Canadian.
Statistics Canada shows police-reported hate crimes targeting religion have been on the rise, largely due to attacks on Jews and Muslims. In 2024, there were 229 Islamophobic attacks and 920 anti-Semitic.
The application of it is going to be really important to make sure that the right balance is struck between, making sure that Canadians still have, the basic ability to express themselves, and we're maintaining civil liberties.
The Justice Minister says that balance was top of mind when crafting the new bill. It's not clear yet what support this minority government may get from other parties as this bill moves its way through the House. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada and Mexico have agreed to a strategic partnership, vowing deeper ties in the face of Donald Trump's trade war on both countries. The U.S. is expected to make major demands during renegotiations of the trilateral trade agreement known as CUSMA. CTV's Judy Trin has the details from Mexico.
Look at that pride of Canada right there.
Prairie wheat being offloaded from a Canadian train in Mexico. A choreographed moment to emphasize how improving rail lines, ports, and pipelines can lead to economic growth in both countries. The Prime Minister's strategic partnership with President Claudia Sheinbaum aims to boost trade with Mexico. The results will be tracked.
Every 3 months, there will be an accountability mechanism for us to reconvene with Mexico, and in particular, the ministers responsible for the various items in the action plan.
The plan also calls for more cooperation in fighting drug cartels and human trafficking. But analysts say this meeting was more about concerns that the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement is unraveling.
It really is about making sure that we're singing from the same songbook, and that Mexico and Canada are not going to get played off of one another.
This after some troubled trade history. During the first Trump administration, Mexico signed a side deal that threatened a North American agreement. But these two leaders say they're committed to negotiating a continental agreement.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the 3 countries together.
Now, after the U.S. launched public consultations, Canada is doing the same.
Formally, the beginning of the Canadian consultative process with Canadian industry, businesses, workers.
In the meantime, LeBlanc will be visiting Washington in the next few weeks to continue trade talks. He'll also be leading a trade mission to Mexico in the near future. All this as CUSMA is set to expire in June 2026. Judy Trin, CTV News, Mexico City.
Late-night hosts reacted to the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's show with solidarity and humor.
If ABC thinks that this is going to satisfy the regime, they are woefully naive. And clearly, they've never read the children's book, If You Give a Mouse a Kimmel.
Kimmel's ABC show was pulled off the airways indefinitely earlier this week after the host suggested MAGA supporters were using Charlie Kirk's assassination to gain political points. Colbert's support for Kimmel comes after CBS announced his show will be canceled next year. On The Daily Show last night, Jon Stewart weighed in.
We have another fun, hilarious, administration-compliant show.
It's not red enough. It's got to be MAGA red.
Calm down.
God, is this your first dictator?
Other late-night hosts Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers also shared support for Kimmel, who has yet to publicly comment on his show's suspension. A federal judge has thrown out Donald Trump's $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times. The judge said the 85-page complaint was unnecessarily long and improper in its current form, giving Trump's lawyers 28 days to refile. The lawsuit targeted 4 journalists for a book and articles Trump claimed were published to hinder his chances in the 2024 election. The Times says it applauds today's decision. France reopened the cathedral towers of the Notre Dame 6 years after a devastating fire. French President Emmanuel Macron helped mark the occasion. The north and south towers will be open to the public on Saturday. The rebuilding took 1,200 oak trees from across France to replace the framework of the iconic Gothic architecture located in the heart of Paris. Well, still to come, an Edmonton comedian is finding online fame thanks to his take on an Alberta accent.
If you can go out and party with the boys, then you can get up and work with the men, okay?
A twist on famous movie scenes with an Alberta flair.
This is a show full of surprises and an unexpected moment.
And fairy tale characters jump out of the books and onto the stage in Edmonton. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down nearly $1, closing the day at $62.40 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained more than $27 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both ended the day higher. The TSX was up 314 points, while the Dow was up 172 points. Well, this is the last NHL season that one of the Oilers' top players will be able to face off against one of his hockey idols. LA Kings captain Anze Kopitar says this will be his last year in the NHL. He will retire after what will be his 20th season. Now, he spent his entire career in LA winning 2 Stanley Cups and 2 Selke trophies as the league's best defensive forward. Now, Oilers superstar Leon Draisaitl says he'd like to be a contender for the Selke trophy this season. He is focused on improving his defensive game and has learned a lot playing against Kopitar.
Kopi was always, my idol growing up, or one of my 2 guys that I really looked up to, and I've learned so much from playing against him, from watching him. I had the privilege of playing with him at the World Cup in 2016, and kind of took me under his wing there, and we've had a close friendship ever since.
The Oilers and the Kings square off 3 times this season and could potentially face each other in the playoffs for a 5th straight year. 3 Alberta rugby players are celebrating a big win tonight.
Can you believe it? Canada 34, New Zealand 19. Canada are going to the gold medal Rugby World Cup final.
And a lot of emotions as Canada's women's rugby team beat New Zealand this afternoon in the Women's Rugby World Cup. Now that puts them in the final against the winner of tomorrow's England-France game. The final is next Saturday in London. An Edmonton comedian is gaining a large following online by giving monumental moments a twist with an Alberta accent.
If you can go out and party with the boys, then you can get up and work with the men, okay? And buddy, listen, I'm not trying to be a bad guy here.
Drew Bem was on Your Morning Edmonton today talking about his career. Now, he says this bit came about when he decided to use something to his advantage that was actually costing him acting gigs.
And, I'm an actor as well, and I was having a tough time booking acting gigs because of my so-called Alberta accent. My agent would send me out for gigs, and I wouldn't book it because it's like, oh, yeah, this frozen food has got some meatballs in it, and, I could never book anything. So I guess I started to use that to my strength.
And from that, a content creator career was born. Bem says his first accent video got about 2 million views. Now, he is playing at the comic strip on Sunday in West Ed. Alberta Ballet is kicking off its season by bringing famous storybook characters to life on stage. Alberta Ballet's newest show, Once Upon a Time, 1,000 Tales, showcases fairy tale characters such as Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella. The artistic director says the show takes a different turn than what most people know and expect.
This is a show full of surprises and an unexpected moment. So it's actually, I don't want to reveal the twist that we have in the plot.
It's great for families as well because of all the stories included in it, but it's also great for people who are enjoyers of the ballet because the choreography is so unique.
Once Upon a Time, 1,000 Tales is at the Jubilee Theatre tonight and 2 shows tomorrow. A stowaway cat has been reunited with his family on Vancouver Island after accidentally hitching a ride to Calgary. Risha Andrews first noticed Sherman was missing from their home last week and alerted her neighbors. A few minutes later, one of them got a frantic call from their daughter, who had just moved to Calgary and found a cat in the back of their U-Haul. A relative was booked to fly back to the island the next day and returned Sherman to his family. Well, still ahead, a fellow in yellow.
Discipline is the line between doing too much and doing too little. So you really do have to keep discipline in every matter of the thing.
More on why this man is running across Canada and encouraging people to live healthier lives.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned, award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
A man dressed in yellow is turning heads on an Alberta highway. He's running across Canada to inspire people to get healthy. CTV's Kevin Green explains why.
Dressed head to toe in yellow, Trevor Redmond is easy to spot on the shoulder of the Trans-Canada Highway. The Halifax native who lived in Calgary for 25 years calls his journey a run for courage.
I want people, Canadians, to encourage us to get out, get healthy, and of course have the courage to go do that yourself.
Redmond was just 15 when he was struck by a car and nearly lost his leg. Multiple surgeries saved it, and he says that healthcare investment drives his mission.
I know the cost of healthcare, and it's a lot. That investment that was made in me produced, well, coming up today, it'll be 35,000 kilometers between walking across Canada, biking across Canada, and now running across Canada.
The 54-year-old started his run in Halifax last March, traveling through Newfoundland and Labrador, Ontario, and the prairies, and now into Alberta. Along the way, he's faced injuries, harsh weather, and long stretches with nothing but the open road.
Discipline is the line between doing too much and doing too little. So you really do have to keep discipline in every matter of the thing, especially doing this solo.
Dubbed the fellow in yellow, Redmond says he wears the bright color for safety, but also to symbolize motion, action, and health.
The more we move, the more we move others. And there's this old saying, actions speak louder than words. If actions speak louder than words, then I must be screaming, you know, for the amount of kilometers and the amount of movement that I'm doing.
He hopes people who stop to talk will take away a simple message to value their health and take the first step toward caring for themselves.
I want to give an example of how to exercise your minds, your bodies, and your spirit. And if you appreciate your health and appreciate the health of others, then we create a really healthy nation.
Kevin Green, CTV News, east of Strathmore.
A hot one tomorrow, 10 degrees in the morning, so crisp to start the day, but we're up to 28, maybe even 29 under sunny skies with light wind tomorrow. Record is 29.4. I think it's probably safe, but we'll be close. 22 on Saturday, chance of showers, especially in the evening on Sunday. It's still going to be a beautiful day Sunday, and even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as we kick off autumn. Fall officially starting on Monday. Still in the 20s. Thursday, Friday, it looks like we'll cool back off into the teens for daytime highs. But the next 5 days, maybe not as hot as tomorrow, but still well above average.
It still makes me laugh. I had friends who were like, that's it, those cold days at the start of September, and they're like, summer's over. We have almost another 30
It's been warmer in September than it was in July.
I know. I love it. All right, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your weekend. Good night.